All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarasun said he kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Sarasun said YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all know what it is. Black Power, Black Frequency. If you're feeling that frequency and energy, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarasun said YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarasun Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house, 25% off selected items at this time, family. Come on in, save and shop and save. We got a lot of nice pieces for you, family, that I know going to empower you. Check us out, family. And everybody know, pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com, dropping nuclear bombs on generalseti.com, SETI University with over 1,200 videos of nothing but fire. This one goddamn video gonna blow your mind, and here it is. You got access to over 1,200 and all the subjects, old school SETI, new school. You know what I'm saying? All that wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? In a package that cannot be competed with at no time. You see, no website on the planet can deal with it. All the subject that we touching on everything for real. And so get on over there, family. Generalseti.com, SETI University. Be amazed, family. Be amazed. And everybody knows SETI popping on Patreon, BPC making noise. We never calm. Exclusive live streams. Too hot to handle on YouTube, but just so exquisite. We keep it for our family on Patreon, and we got nothing but fire on Patreon. Believe that. You can go over there. I don't have to hype. Just take a look. Take a ride on over there and see what's laying up on there. Ain't nothing but science. All type of exquisite. You know what I'm saying? Titles for the family on my Patreon. And so to all my family out there that donate to the general, I want to say, how much I appreciate you for appreciating me. You feel me? All the other family out there that want to keep the general on a battlefield, donate. The link is right in the video description. It's in the chat. And I want to thank you ahead of time for anything that you donate. You see, and make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King Seti, General Seti, Sarasun Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. All right. Why Thanksgiving is a pagan goat worship. It's pagan goat worship. That's all that it is. I'm sick of niggas. Y'all sitting up here with this paganism. And the word pan is rooted in paganism. That's where it comes from. Paganism. Panism. That's what it is. Let's talk. And we gonna, if you want to get the lecture, now I'm only gonna touch you with a little something now, but I'm gonna still spark the mind now. I'm gonna still spark the mind. And so we just got off of L. We kind of touching on pan, and what we have to understand is this. And I'm gonna give more lecture than I am slides. You got to go to the where Patreon also. If you're a member on Sarasun said the YouTube page, you got that. That's what that's what the family get when you become a member on any. I'm gonna lace you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get them exquisite goddamn lectures. You already know that's what you're gonna get. You see, and so yeah, if you become a member, I believe is BPC bossing up. You feel me? You get that. Okay, you at the top. You get every last one of them. I might have 3 of them in a month. You get them. You see, and so when we talk about Thanksgiving, we got to talk about the cornucopia. That's where we going with this. The cornucopia. And many, but there and the goats of Thor. And the goats of Thor. When we talk about that, and they had the goat, and I'm gonna show you again. When old Santa Claus, come on down there. Ain't nothing but an anagram for Saturn. That's what you got to understand. And many of these gods are composite deities. It's a mixture of deities in the one deity. You feel me? And so, when we talk in this story, is the god Zeus? The god Zeus is in this story, of the cornucopia. This is his mother was his nurse mother was Almathea, a goat goddess. And all type of drink and milk would flow right not out the udder but out of the horn. Out of the horn. That's right. The goats of and if you try to pronounce that, I'm gonna try to pronounce it, but that's a hard one. Grisnir. Tan Grisnir. Okay, and so I got it. Tan Grisnir. Okay. And I'm gonna look into that because I see some, it just ain't but Zeus is in that cornucopia, and he, and like I said, it would come right out the tip of the horn. And Zeus being a strong god, growing, he was so powerful that one day he was playing with her and he pulls the damn horn off. So it is, in the feminine aspect, is the goat. Is the goat in all of it. Nissi, we just said the god Yule, he got to go. Thor got to go. And then they got what you call they got the Yule goat too. That if you go over to Switzerland, they got this big it's hay, and they make this giant ass goat over there, and every other year they burn that motherfucker down. Somebody go over there and set fire to it. And then you got Krampus. They got he got a knight. They didn't gave him a knight. It'd be more motherfuckers out there than it'd be at the damn the Santa Claus shit. And then you go into Lupercalia, and that's goat. Even though you got Luper, which is the she wolf. They celebrate the wolf too. And so, in Lupercalia, you got the she wolf. And it's based on Remulus and Romulus, the founding of Rome, Remulus and Romulus, and so the Luper is the goat. I mean the she wolf, Lupercalia. Yeah, so but in that holiday, even though it's about Lupercalia, one of the gods, he's Phanus, then they call him Lupercus. And so he's the one that supposedly chases the wolves away, and this, that, and the third. And so that's where to keep the I believe she is a wolf herself, but at the same time I believe because he was looked at as a god of the shepherds, that would keep the wolves away. And so he was in that aspect, in that particular festival, he was one that was highly venerated. And so they would sacrifice the goat. They would make strips of the goat's skin and shit, where they would run around bloody strips and shit, or the goat meat and shit, and and would be hidden, I guess in fertility and shit. That this was to make somebody fertile, and so you could imagine they running around, they got blood all over them and shit. And some in the rites inside of the temple aspect, they were baptizing in the goat blood. Baptizing, because they said it, they would have goat blood all over their face and shit. This ended up becoming a Valentine's Day. This ended up becoming Valentine's Day, because what they did is that the festivals was so large and was so important that they knew that if they tried to erase every fucking thing that they had, that they was gonna revolt. They would not be able to contain them. they would always be in revolt because they destroying their culture and shit. So what they would do, they would create saints that look just like the damn God, like Santa Claus and Santa Claus and shit. They look just like the damn God. And so the people was all right, was okay, y'all done conquered us. And he looked like old. And then you say his name is Santa Claus. Okay, we'll roll with it, but we know who he is and shit. Yeah, so you could create, and we'll take the saint because you got to give the Romans they motherfucking credit. You're gonna have to say that Catholicism is, that's the supreme religion, and and we'll let you have these little more what you call it, ruckus festivals and shit. You know what I'm saying? We'll let you keep your little ruckus, and but know that when you don't call him Thor, don't you call him Odin, you call him Santa Claus, or you call him Santa Claus, but don't call him Thor. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did. They co-opted all of them holidays, and they Christianized them. They Christianized them. And so when you think about Thanksgiving, it's a lot of elements in there that's ancient, that didn't just pop up. You're not gonna create no whole fucking religion and culture all at one time. So you're gonna have to borrow. And that's what they did. They took from the Roman, they took from the Celtics, they took from the Vikings, they took from primarily them three branches of the European race. They took from the Nordic, the Roman, and the Greek is in there too, but through the expression of the Roman. So the Greek is in there too, because anytime you call the Roman deity, they're going to relate back to the earlier Grecian deity and say, okay, this is what it became. Jupiter became Zeus, and Dionysus became Bacchus, and they transferred over. Okay, and so in that all that came to America. Was hard for people, and I keep, and once I get this in your brain that America ain't that many steps. If you go back, you damn near in Rome when Rome was ruling it. You're talking about 400 AD. You know what I'm saying? That the Romans left out of there, but they had different parts of Europe, earlier than Britain. They had France. They had control of France maybe 50 some years, but or a little earlier than Britain. And they kept it longer. And you'd be surprised that when you go into a lot of them cities in Europe, they got coliseums too. And so there is a lot of, it's more than any of the other cultures. Because when them Romans conquered, they built, cities, Roman city. That's what they call the Hellenistic period. Under Alexander, they call that, and what that means is that wherever he went, they Greek, they Romanized that shit. So you would see Roman style cities in all throughout the empire, which the Romans had control. And wherever that was, they practiced them Roman holidays. So I don't want people to think, oh, Saturnalia is just, a key word, and people say, but it's really not relevant. No, it is relevant. That holiday of Saturnalia was the major holiday in the Western world for a very long time. It was their Christmas, where peoples from all over the world, if they couldn't get to Rome, then they celebrated it right where they were located. They celebrated every last one of them holidays. And so that's what we have to understand. And when we understand that religion comes out of religion, comes out of religion. Religion comes out of religion, comes out of religion. It's always a composite thought process. Ain't nothing, and when you understand, you break it down in segments, and you're gonna find many deities, many deities, and throughout all these religions, including the Islam. They can run, but they cannot hide. We got something for them. We breaking them down too, since they always want to act as if they so pure and shit. That's not true. Okay, that's not true. And so when we talk about, again, the goat god in this Thanksgiving, and again, this Thanksgiving is more occult than what people believe in, because they love motherfuckers to sleep. Is more a national holiday than it, even though other people's around the world. What up, family? What's up, family? We in the house. Y'all already know. We doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk this ancient shit. Then we gonna bring it to the future, and show how it still relate. And show you how it still relate. And so again, the Viking thing, that's very powerful too. That Viking blood is deep in them. They into the damn Thor. You can see that in Marvel Comics. When you go in Marvel Comics, listen, man, Thor is like they savior in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of other gods in there. You know what I'm saying? They got the Hercules and this, that, and the third, but he didn't achieve that. He didn't achieve what Thor achieved. You know what I'm saying? And so even amongst the Nordic, the Viking, even though Odin the father he was the most venerated deity, but Thor was right there. He was their warrior deity, and Odin was a warrior too. But if they had to send that the most prolific warrior, they would send Thor. And so he's looked at as that's they Heru. That's Horus to them. Thor. That's one of, that's the power in him. That's they Heru. That's they Horus. That's they savior. And they got Balder, who's supposed to be a savior too, who was killed, and they say after Ragnarok he will resurrect, to be the god of the new world. Okay, so Balder, he is a Messiah figure too, of resurrection, and that he would rise to lead the new world after Ragnarok. So a lot of that shit is, intertwined, and you got the Celtic, with the deer gods and shit. They still the horn god though. They still a manifestation of that wow, area. Motherfuckers in the rural. Motherfuckers in the woods, and away from the city areas and shit. And so that's who the god Pan and the deer gods of the Celtics, and even Artemis, when you start talking about that reindeer, which it was all, because her sacred Artemis, and she was one of their main goddesses. She was in the Trinity with Jupiter and his wife Juno, and it was Artemis. That was their Trinity. So when you go to the top, matter of fact, let me get that up there. When you go to the top of Capitoline Hill, which is, that one of the hills, there's 7 hills in Rome. But then you had what they call Capitoline Hill, and that was the most prestigious of the hills. That's where the great temples of the greatest god, Jupiter. Wait a minute. Okay. That was that one, but okay, maybe it's this one. Okay, it's this one right here. It's this one. Really? Was it this? Oh yeah, it is this one. Okay. Okay. So I always like to show people that one. That's the extension of the Romans. So wherever you see a man standing, you know that the celebrations of Santinelia and Lubercalia. They got the other one, the Lumeria, which was, very similar to All Saints Day, and they would always wear the mask. That's it, it's a masquerade. The carnival, all that shit come out of Rome, and they've never gotten out of it. They've never gotten all these holidays are carnival, and that's why, Christmas ain't never been like it is now. It was practiced, man. Christmas was practiced like Mardi Gras. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have they was wilding and shit and all that, you know. They were, and so they had to kind of clean that shit up, then that's why you have to see it in the earlier stages, and then you get a chance to see all that, the connection to, and just like here, you see it got Santinelia up there. You'll love it. So they know it's a part of Yule, they know it's a part of Santinelia, and you see Krampus, but he got a mask of what, that's the green boy. And so that's actually Father Christmas, and that was the British expression before Santa Claus. He had the green on, and he didn't have I don't believe he had no sled or nothing. I believe he walked, and I believe he was many times he was by himself. And so they take on the wanderer. They wandered Gandalf, he on Lord of the Rings. He's a wanderer. Jesus was a wanderer. What does that mean? They elusive. Even in that, elusive, that they not, you can't, they in and they out. You can't really put your finger on them. That's the sign of a mystery school, or a mystery system that they got there, you know. And you can see right there that, this was no holiday that kids look forward to, because they know damn well they got all these demons out there. If it ain't Krampus, it's Frau Percher, it's Growler, and all these other motherfuckers. That ain't no goddamn holiday. You know what I'm saying? That you look forward to. And you don't goddamn, even if you ain't got on no good clothes for Christmas, you got the Yule cat, which is Gryler's cat. Catch your ass, and you ain't got on no new. You got to have on at least one, either your shirt, your shoe. You got to have something new on, nigga. You ain't got something new on, then and they say they tied that to the fact that, if people work hard, I guess it's like, if you look at the night, what is it called, the night before Christmas, and Ebenezer Scrooge, work a motherfucker even on the holiday. You know what I'm saying? So they make sure that you slave, and say if you work, like you supposed to, you might get a shirt or something like that. But if you don't work hard, motherfucker, you ain't getting no shirt or nothing. And so your ass gonna be in threat of the goddamn cat catching your ass out there and eating your ass alive. And so all of this is attached to those earlier aspects of the European. Y'all can't throw that away. This shit is wicked. It's wicked in every sense. I study the thing because I study history, and I want to be able to break this shit down so you understand exactly what it is. And you're gonna have to go to the occult level, and that means hidden. That ain't nothing spooky or nothing. It means you're gonna have to pull back 2 or 3 veils. The first veil might be a trick. The second, you ain't no telling how many veils you gonna have to pull back to get to it. You see here, and they say Io Santinelia, and may this holy festival continue as long as the hills of Lactum and Father Tiber remain. Okay, and so that, and so I guess these are some of the things that they would say. Now that Latinum is the first city, I believe, even before Rome. And that was the city of the Latins. And Saturn was he was the one they looked to as the father of the Latins, because his son, and I forget, is Picus or something like that. Picus was the first king of the Latins. And so you got you got Janus, and he had a daughter, and Saturn's son ends up marrying Janus, the god of January's daughter, and they have Phaneus, the goat. Well, in the Roman, it's a fawn, but that's still the goat deity. He's a personification of Pan. Pan is the great primordial, you see, and so he's over Phaneus. He's over Phaneus in that aspect. You know, he's a rendition of Pan. Okay, and so, but that just show you that in his blood, in his being of Saturn is the goat. He gave birth, and nobody could explain how he turned out to be a goat when his father and his mother was actually human. You see, and that just show, you know, and I had to look into him like I look into that other god out of India, Hanuman. You know what I'm saying? Whether they was fucking, you know, gene editing and shit, and you know, producing even at that time, creating these monstrosity like that island or whatever, you know, Moray and whatever his name, Dr. Moore, whatever his name, where he took them peoples on that island and start, you know, intertwining their DNA and shit and all that with animals. He had cut their arms off and all this shit and put damn animal legs and shit on where their arms was supposed to be, you know, creating all that type of shit. So we don't know. But, you know, and so here you see the tree, Saturnalia, and you know, the so-called festivities of that. And so this is, you know, also a part of what the Thanksgiving is, because in all the harvest, Saturn was the god of the harvest. You know, that's why you see him with the sickle. I don't know, do I got him in here with the sickle? I do. I believe I do. But this is his holiday. You know, you know, this is his holiday. I'm gonna get it. You know, I think I got it on another one right there. This the one I should have opened up in because it's a lot of. Well, I can use this one. I wanted to use the one that was straight from so you see him right here with that's the scythe. That's the scythe though. I don't want that. You know, that's the scythe. I want to see him with the sickle. You know what I'm saying? Hold on there. But he come with the sickle too because he's the god of harvest. You know, he's the god of harvest, and his wife was ox. You know, and that relate more to the wheat, and that's another thing that they use during Thanksgiving. They use them stalks of wheat, and they put them down, you know, all over the, as far as reefs and shit. You know what I'm saying? They'll have the wheat that's cereals. You know, that's cereal where you get cereal from, and she's also shown with the horn of plenty, the cornucopia. And so that cornucopia go back to a lot of them deities. You know what I'm saying? You know, that cornucopia go back to a lot of them deities. Now, this is Capitoline Hill. This was the hill where the major temples, and they had temples on all them hills. But you see at the top, that one is Jupiter. And at that time, he had become the supreme deity. But Saturn was still he was like Ptah. He was like, no matter what other deity came along, he's so ancient, that they always left his place, it was secured in as far as, who was the primordials, who was the chief deities. And again to say, this is their Amen Ra. Jupiter is, they would be like on the level of Osiris. Osiris, Amen Ra, Ptah. And so, just like, Amen Ra it was taken all over the world. He became composite deities all over the world. And they left it just the same too. They didn't change much. The winged sun disk, Even the serpents, the two serpents that was coming, they took that and made it into the caduceus and so many other occult mysterious symbols that they, but it all go back to Amun Ra. And you see, this is from the top of the hill. Here you see now that's the temple of Jupiter, and you see at the top of Capitol, and this is where you get Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. And when you look at the buildings, that's how you know it's wrong, because by choice, all of the state buildings are built like Roman temples. That's it. Let's deal with that. That's by choice. So this is Rome. So if they got the architecture, when you go into I believe it's the Senate, and they got the Roman fasces up there and that's the bundle of reeds with the hatchet in it, which is symbolic of power, and that's sitting right there in the House of Representatives. You see the fasces over everything. Even when you go to DC and you go to Lincoln's Memorial, he got the fasces. If you look on that chair he's sitting on, that the fasces is sitting right. If you look at the beginning of the chair, you will see them intertwined into the chair, and so this became by choice, symbols that the government would take. The Freemasons also use these symbols. Okay, and so Saturn's temple is this one right here. So they kept a place for him on Capitoline Hill. Now they say that this hill used to be called Mons Saturnius or something of that nature, because this was when Saturn ruled, his temple was the main temple. His temple was the main temple, and at this time the city was referred to as the Temple of Saturn. And so we keep saying that. So when you understand that inside of that Kabbalah, inside of that Talmud, inside of that Holy Bible, Saturn is there. When they showed the God on the damn Sistine Chapel, and I got it right here. I'm gonna just put that in. You see him right there. That's Saturn. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That's the reflection of who he is. So even Yahweh, when he's a composite, he's a rendition of Saturn. They continue to display, all their deities. When you look at Father Christmas, he got the hood on. You know what I'm saying? That's Saturn. Ain't no motherfucking getting away from that. Ain't no getting. You see, he got that damn switch over there at the bottom. It's a switch. So they whooping ass too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, oh, you bad, you ain't gonna get nothing, motherfucker. You bad, you might get your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? So they scared as fuck. Now the crazy thing is they got this one statue over there. Now this is of the Nile River, and this is when they had conquered Egypt. And so this is now, this ain't got nothing, but you see that this God, and I got other pictures, got horns on his motherfucking head. And I look, and then you go and you look at this damn Moses and shit, and he's a composite deity, personage. He ain't just Moses. The way they depict him, he's a rendition. He's an extension of the earlier Roman Empire. They did not give up their religion at all. And matter of fact, when you go around and you look at all of the Capitol buildings and all this, that, and the third, you see that it is Rome in which they venerate more than us. So if you see that the buildings is in Roman fashion and this, that, why wouldn't you believe that the deities were still being worshipped, not on just a low level? They highly venerate these deities more than any other deities, including Jesus. Jesus ain't got as many goddamn statues up as these goddamn Romans. They got these motherfuckers in all. They got libraries on damn universities and shit, and this, that, and the third. And so there you see also the cornucopia. So you see that it was venerated with a whole lot of Greco-Roman deities. So when you see that cornucopia, It ain't you know what people do, and we're gonna move to the next one. That they so quick, and I'm not jumping on you, family. I'm not jumping on you at all because what you're saying is correct. When they talk about how the pilgrims did the Indians, they did do that. They did that to us too. But that's the mundane shit. That ain't got nothing to do with the symbols. The symbols is speaking to a whole different reality. So we have to look at it not just because it's not just the pilgrims. It's not just the pilgrims. The pilgrims was Puritans. They didn't really engage with, they was like these Islamic zealot motherfuckers. They didn't really engage in none of, nothing. You know what I'm saying? No statues, no religion, no holidays, no none of that. Motherfucker, you shut your mouth and you motherfucker live like the Bible, and you live, in the most simplistic way, and that's what the Puritans was, the Pilgrims. They didn't have these symbols. These symbols is something totally different. So if you think that cornucopia up there on that table got something to do with some goddamn pilgrims, that just show you right there how you will never get to the goddamn truth. And them goddamn symbols ain't got nothing to do with no goddamn pilgrims. Okay, so let's dive deeper. We got to dive deeper now. We got to dive deeper. Okay, and so yes, it is gold worship. We be right black. We got one more, and we up tonight. But goddamn it, we on fire. We got to drop this knowledge. You see, and so I be right black. This is General Cyrus Seti. That's right. Moses is also Hammurabi, the lawgiver. Hammurabi, who supposedly brought laws to them damn Akkadian motherfuckers, Assyrian motherfuckers, I believe. Hammurabi, the lawgiver. Okay, Ham, that he was black. And and Mu, which is also symbolic of black and also water. You see, and Darabi. And so yeah, he was the one that brought them motherfuckers some knowledge and science over there. You understand? Raised their ass up off them all fours. And so we be right black family. We're going to continue on for the last presentation for the night. Don't you go nowhere. Go to sleep on this wisdom. This is General Cyrus Seti saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.